What's up, everybody? I hope a lot of people haven't got their water frozen and all the crazy stuff from earlier this week. Our producer did. Her water got froze and
almost caught the house on fire.
Yeah, almost caught the house on fire. So it's just interesting stuff going on this wonderful January. But hopefully the cold weather has moved out and we ain't got to worry about it no more. Anyway, we're still doing some sporadic shows, January and February. And then we'll start getting set on a actual date that we're going to actually release them and stuff. But remember, you can get us on 18 different platforms: Spotify, Amazon, iHeart, everywhere. Wherever you get your podcast, you can get this show. So it's good stuff. And we've had some really interesting guests coming on. And this one today, man, I tell you what, he has lived the life. And tell you what, I'm just going to let y'all meet him and we'll get to talking and y'all can figure it all out. Everybody, please welcome to the show, Mr. Billy Droze. What's going on, Billy?
Hello, David. How are you, buddy? Good to see you.
Man, it's one of those days.
It's one of them years. I get it.
Well, last year was a heck of a year. So we actually did pretty good last year.
Heck yeah.
Then, what about you? You got a hell of a year starting already.
Yes, sir, man. We're just staying busy. I'm keeping the studio hot.
I know.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Jeff said you putting out a hell of a damn album, son.
It's country music. Unapologetically country music.
Well, that's because you've done a lot in bluegrass and a lot of the other areas.
Yeah, I started out in just country music and more of a traditional country sound, and for a while there, the music industry kind of switched lanes, and traditional wasn't as cool as it used to be, and so.
Well, that's like now. I mean, you go downtown Nashville, you might hear everything from traditional early country all the way up to what's the new fad down there now, Caitlin? I can't remember.
I don't know.
You don't know. You're supposed to know.
I don't know. I don't work on Broadway anymore.
Oh my God, I forgot.
I know.
Is it getting drunk on trail cards?
Yeah, it's something. I don't know what it is. It's they're getting pretty tore up down there, and you never know what the hell you hear.
So naturally, when country music kind of got a little out there on different, more modern sounds and stuff, I just went back to bluegrass, and I started in bluegrass when I was a kid, bluegrass and country music. So about the last 10 years, I've been putting out bluegrass records, and I just felt like the times were changing. It was time to put out an authentic country music album, and it's a record I've been wanting to cut for 25 years, and so it's got 25 years of songs that I've been poking back, and so I'm really excited about it. It's kind of the top drawer of all the songs that I've had over the years. That
that's something I've said about songwriters. It's amazing. I bet you could go to every songwriter's house and open a closet and you're going to find at least 25, 30 songs that are tucked back off in there.
Well, yeah, for me, songwriting is therapy. And so I tend to need therapy a lot. So I just write a lot of songs.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's crazy as I'll get out. A lot of the early stuff you did, though, to be honest with you, I didn't know that you sang for Shenandoah.
Yep. Yes, sir.
But the reason I didn't know is because it was under a different name.
Yes, sir. At the time, I was signed to RCA Records, and they clipped my last name off. So I was going by Billy Ryan. My name's Billy Ryan Droze, of course. And so, so I did that. I only did one tour, but I stayed out on the road opening all their shows for about 5 to 6 years. And I learned a lot from Shenandoah, just how to be on the road, how to be responsible on the road, and they took me under their wing and absolutely showed me things that you can't buy that kind of knowledge. So it was really neat to be a part of that.
No, you can't. I mean, it's anybody that goes on tour, I tell them, watch, learn,
Mm-hmm.
because it's an experience that you can't teach that in school.
Absolutely not. You got to go and do it and get your feet wet.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's I haven't actually been on tour, but I've done a lot of things, lights and sound and the clubs and stuff. And you get some of the bigger name people come in, and goes immediately to 3-ring circus.
Oh yeah.
Everything that's going on, especially if they got their own production guy. Oh God, it's a nightmare.
It's crazy in the worlds when you tour in bluegrass music as opposed to touring in country music. It's like there's no catering in bluegrass music. It's just show up and eat a Taco Bell taco and get on stage.
Oh yeah. Well, I love bluegrass. I don't know what it is. I mean, remember old Andy Griffith show when you had the Darlings come on?
Yep. So on the show, I think of it in real life, they were the Dillards, and
yeah. But see, I was way young when that come on, and I'd sit there in front of the TV and just be like, man, I got to find me a brown jug.
I found a few of those before at festivals.
You can't get no better sound.
I'm telling you.
It's wild. I'm sorry, Billy. Caitlin's got this freaking hat on that says "Don't talk to me," and it keeps getting my attention.
That wasn't the point.
It's crazy stuff around here. I'm telling you.
I like it. My boyfriend got it for me. But then I wear it and he won't talk to me.
See how it goes?
You bought it.
That's what you need, some hats that says some little catchy thing on top.
Gonna order them.
Did you do a lot of bluegrass festivals?
Yeah, as many as I could through the years, and kind of slowing down on them right now, but just really ramping up for this country record, and I'm putting just hand selecting musicians that I really want to work with for the new country band, and it's a lot of fun. I mean, to me, country music, traditional country music and bluegrass music are hand in hand. They go hand in hand. I mean, one's electric and one's acoustic. I remember when we cut the first bluegrass record, it had started out as a country music record, and we literally just shut the electric elements off the record and put it out. And of course, and put bluegrass instrumentation and production behind it. So it's all in production and how you package it up.
Well, that's what I was curious about, because back in the day, I used to do some recordings and stuff, but the times have changed so much now. When you was in the studio with Jeff Huskins, was it pretty much still the same way of recording, or because everybody tells me it's changed so much?
Well, I think because we were, to me, it was a lot like, tracking 10, 15 years ago, but we were literally going for that sound and trying to keep things kind of scaled down and not, overproduced. And I mean, we were sitting in my studio here in Santa Fe where I live here in Tennessee. And so the way I do things is completely different from the way they do them downtown, but it still gets the job done. So.
Well, I mean, and Jeff's got that Atmos stuff. Are you going to do the Atmos stuff with him?
Yeah, he's gonna mix the whole record in Atmos, so that's gonna be really neat.
Dude, did you get a chance to listen to it?
Yeah, I met Jeff about a couple years ago and went in there, and John Anderson and I were we cut a tune together with Sean Camp and Ronnie Bowman, and Jeff just volunteered to do an Atmos mix on it, and I went in there and listened to it. It was incredible. It was great. I enjoyed it.
Oh, see, I did a show with Jeff. I interviewed him, and we actually got to sit in the chair, the mixing, and he played some stuff for me and my producer Caitlin, and I was just blown away.
Coming at you from every angle. That's what I like. Yes,
I was just like, oh my God, I want this in my house.
You can get it. You got the money, you can get it.
Oh yeah, I know. But I could just sit there and imagine listening to some sci-fi or something like that with that Atmos stuff going around. It would be wild.
Heck yeah, it would.
But I just, I've been really impressed with, because he come from Little Texas and moved up, and now he's mixing and doing all this stuff. And I was just like, man, what a career.
Yeah, he's just an incredible musician. Plays piano and fiddle and just got a set of ears on him and knows his way around, songs and how they need to be laid out production wise. And it's been a pleasure to work with him for sure.
Well, I hope when you get this album released, I hope you win the Grammy for it this time instead of just getting nominated a couple of times.
That'd be nice. It was always a consideration or a suggestion, but never won one yet. But we will. I still got some time on this old earth.
Dude, I'm telling you. I mean, it just because Jeff did the one for Lainey when she won the Grammy for it, so he got the Grammy.
Oh yeah, he's got his hands in a lot of stuff right now, and I'm proud to be working with him for sure.
I don't see when he breathes.
He don't take any breaks, and he probably needs to, but he said he'll do that when he dies. So,
well, yeah, I mean, I think we all say that when we're growing up.
Yeah,
because I'm in my 50s and I ain't grown up yet.
I'm 38 and I'm still a kid.
See, you still have fun.
Yes, sir.
That's what I love. You're taking something that you're good at and you're just having fun with it. Yes,
sir. I mean, there's elements of it that, become a job and that's where you just take it serious. And, but for the most part, somebody the other day said, do you have to work today? And I really didn't. I was just writing songs, and it's, to me, that's not work. That's one of my favorite pastimes. So.
Yeah. Cause I was looking over your stuff and I was just like, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I counted up 14 number one hits under your belt, dude.
In bluegrass music. Yes, sir. It's actually, you said to correct you, it's 15, but that's okay. Who's counting? It's just one little hit.
It's just one. Don't worry.
We worked very hard for those over the years, and I got to give my brand of bluegrass music to the people, and they seemed to take to it, and it was a lot of fun, and I can't wait to do the same in country music and have a real shot at getting out there and bringing an authentic style of country music to the radio. That's my one of my biggest dreams.
Yeah, because I mean, I was listening to some of the music, and I was just like, I couldn't get over. I mean, you've got one of those voices, man. It commands attention as soon as you hear it.
Thank you. Sometimes it's bad attention, but it's still attention. It don't matter.
Well, I wasn't talking about those in the bar moments where somebody's hollering, "Buy me another round" or something. I mean.
Oh, man, when I was growing up, my daddy always just told me, if you sing it from your heart and your soul, you can't go wrong with that. And so I just I try to literally just pour my soul in my vocals and when I cut records and live, and it seems to be working. So I learned from some of the my favorites, some of the best in the world, and they were just singers that sang from somewhere deep in their soul. So that's the approach I like to take.
And that's something I like to hear, because you can have anybody sing a song, but if they can sing it from what they feel and from their heart, it literally puts a different feel to the vocals to me. It's
really challenging for me if I record on this record. I cut 2 or 3 that I didn't write. It was, and I noticed when I was putting vocals down, it was kind of challenging because I didn't write it. So it took me a minute to kind of really get inside that lyric and be able to sell it as good as something, that I would have written myself. So,
right.
But,
I noticed, now it didn't say in here, but I seen where did you write with Jamie O'Neil or wrote?
No, No, she had cut a tune that I wrote years ago,
Okay.
called "Like I Do," and we had a slew of little, cuts here and there on different major artists, and that was fun. I was always focusing more on, you know, writing and recording a lot of my own material, but I've been thankful. We just had a cut on Shenandoah that was nice,
Yeah.
and so it's pretty neat when your heroes cut your songs, and
Yeah.
pretty fun stuff.
I got to ask, what was the song for Shenandoah?
They just cut it on their new album. It's called "You Never Know," and I actually wrote it about 17, 18 years ago, in Muscle Shoals when I was down there for one of the original members of the group, Ralph Ezel, passed away, and me and Mike McGuire from the group I think we were heading to his funeral, and of course they were all tore up. That was their brother, and I said, "Man, we need to write a song," and he said, "I'm not in the mood," but then I came out with a few lines of "You Never Know," and
Yeah.
they finally cut it. Yeah, Darryl Worley cut the song. I think the Isaacs had a take on it with when Jimmy was out with them, and so it's yeah, that song's had legs, and I didn't cut it on this record for that very reason because it already been cut about 4 or 5 times. So
Right. So yeah, I was sitting there. I was trying to think earlier what my favorite Shenandoah song was, and I think the one that hit me the most was "What Might Have Been."
that I hate to correct you, but that wasn't Shenandoah, but it's a great song. No,
Who was that? I was sitting there thinking that Shenandoah did it.
huh? It's Little Texas, but
Little
same era.
Texas.
Same era.
Oh my God!
Shenandoah was like 2
I'd
dozen
rather
rows.
be connected by Billy than anybody else. So I mean,
You said you'd correct you if he was wrong, so
exactly. That's what I meant.
Every now and then to make Marty Raven mad, I call him Marty Rowe just for fun. So oh Lord. But my favorite in the world is "I Want to Be Loved Like That." And that song is incredible.
A real good one. I like that one.
2 Dozen Roses, all that stuff that I mean, they knew how to pick songs, and when I was coming up and cutting records and stuff for different labels in Nashville, they said, it doesn't matter if you wrote it, if it's a hit song, cut it, And so
see, I'm one of them weird guys because I still believe that 25 songs stuck in the back of a closet somewhere, 3 of them are hits.
Yeah, I mean, there's I've got hard drives in the studio that have songs I forgot about on them, and I've had the same email address for about 20 years. So when I'm looking for songs, I just type in the word "demo" on the search bar and see what comes up and stuff. When you were 20 that you forgot about, and
yeah,
I found a few of those actually for this record that I forgot even existed. So
see, I love that.
When you write, professionally and for different publishing companies and stuff, you write almost every day, and so. But generally, if it's good, if it's a good song, it moves you, you'll remember it. But sometimes you forget. So
yeah, because I've talked to a lot of people that have been songwriters, and they've all got a bunch of daggum songs they wrote like early in life that they couldn't even tell you the name of them.
Yeah,
they just know they've got them.
Well, I've what the craziest thing about songwriting is I've tended to live a lot of the songs I've written either before or after they happened. So, I've written some really dark stuff. So now I'm just trying to write all up tempo, positive, sunshine and roses. Cause it generally, like my mama used to tell me, she said, don't speak it into existence. And I guess you can sing and write it into existence as well. And so I try to stay on the more positive side or just write from stuff that's actually happening or going on in my life. So
tell Donna, because I know she's hanging out.
Yeah, she's back there.
Yeah, she's telling me a song called Lafayette.
Oh, Lafayette. That's a new tune that I wrote with my buddy Chris Myers and Jim Parker, and it's you remember that song "I Was a Highwayman"?
Yeah,
with Johnny Cash and Willie and all them. That song's about reincarnation. I just wanted to write my version of a song about reincarnation. So it's kind of about a soul that keeps kind of getting recycled down here and has a few misfortunate episodes and fortunate episodes. It's just for me, it was just a creative, just another way to get to use my creative license to just make stuff up.
Yeah.
But it's cool. It's going to be on the new album, and it's just a really just rocking band and kind of a little bit of a stepping outside of the traditional realm for a minute, and just kind of showing another side of another musical side of what we do. So.
Well, see, it's I've noticed, and I'm sure you have too, over the past years, it's been women cutting the tires and tearing up the truck and doing all this other stuff. And, the men are crap and all this. And I'm just like, dude, I remember back in the day, the ballads that came out on the metal side. And I remember the songs coming out talking about, the men were just basically putting that woman of theirs on a pedestal and just all this other stuff. And I'm like, how did y'all flip that like that? Give me one song of a woman giving praise to a man like it used to be back in the day. You know what I'm saying?
Tammy Wynette had the last one I can think about, but I tend to not listen to a lot of what I am now because I've got to go out there and compete. But I for the longest time I didn't really turn top 40 country radio on much.
Right.
I'd keep it over on Sirius XM, but now there's a lot of good music out there, and there's a lot of heart and soul getting a chance to kind of hit major success, and that's reassuring, and I'm so proud of that. Because I don't, if I haven't lived it, I don't generally ever want to sing about it, and I don't hang out by the river in the truck with girls drinking beer much ever.
Dancing in the headlights, drinking beer.
Yeah, I can do that right here in Santa Fe. So,
well, yeah.
So I write about my own creek and my own stuff that we do here, and it's as long as it has, it's real. That's I think music needs to have more of a passion behind it and a reality to it. And if you can sell, what my life is, my life's pretty crazy and up and down and different. And, I got 4 youngins, and I write about them. I write about what I live and what I know. So, and if I lived it, I can sell it. So.
Yeah, and with 4 kids, you could pretty much write a song about, you ain't gonna believe what she did today.
Yep, it's beautiful. It's beautiful to have them babies and get to write music and share. And a lot of times I'll bounce songs off of them. They're from 4 to 13 years old.
Right.
I got 2 little girls, and I was doing some pre-production work on a record I was cutting a couple 2-3 years ago, and there's just one tune on there, and I didn't write it, and it pissed me off because they liked that more than the song I wrote. So, but they go around every day and they sing it. It's called Black Coffee, and they're 4 and 5-year-old little girls. And I thought, well, if it's appealing to a 4 and 5-year-old little girl, and the song's about like breaking up or whatever. It's not the lyric, it's the melody of it. That my little girls just love it, and so I thought, well, I'm going to cut it for them. So that was one of the. Sometimes it's cool to get somebody else's opinion, even if they are 4.
Yeah. Well, what's that saying? They always say, out of the mouth of babes, because they don't know how to lie.
No.
They'll tell you the truth right up.
And I love it. Absolutely.
Sometimes it might hurt your feelers, but.
Oh, yeah. Heck yeah. They are always listening. That's for sure.
That's what I love. I love that you got that support group around you, It's kind of like your own little cheerleading section.
Oh, yeah. And I've been blessed, too, to have a really good team of people that believe in my music and kind of keep me standing upright sometimes. And that's a blessing, because it, that saying, it takes a village. It really does. I mean, it,
Yeah.
100%. And for a long time, I kind of tried to step back, out of the spotlight a little bit, and and give the opportunities that I knew I could give to somebody else, and started a record label, and signed a bunch of people, good acts and artists. And I had fun with that. And I loved giving that back. But at this point, I'm really loving that there's people around doing the same thing for me. So that's amazing.
Yeah. It's, with the music industry and all that stuff, and even on the podcast side, like I've got a hell of a team and a lot of support, and
it makes a big difference, don't it?
Dude, it helps out so much.
Yep.
And I've told people this before. It's just amazing how that one person, whoever it may be, just comes up and pats you on the back and say, "Damn good job."
Yeah, absolutely.
It's amazing.
Yeah, and just knowing you have that support and encouragement, I mean, that'll get you a long way in life.
Oh yeah. It gets pretty interesting, all the stuff that you have to go through, and things that you have to do, and everybody's got a system. You got to follow a certain system and make sure this is right. And at the end of the day, sometimes I sit back and wonder, did I do that right?
Yeah, I do that every single day.
Yeah.
I'm always wondering.
The monsters in the background.
Yeah, that was cool. Going into the next room back there.
Tell him no noise on set and holler at him.
He knows now.
Get him.
But
when you gonna put this album out? I mean, I'm dying to hear it already.
Oh, that's a good question. So I'm putting a lot of just. I was in here singing 2 or 3 of the last ones actually for it today, and right here in this control room is where I cut all my vocals, and I like it that way because I'm so used to kind of working alone that I'll have, Chris or whoever's coming in the studio check it out and give me their input. But to answer your question, I'm really just trying to make sure that it's perfect, 100%.
Right.
That it's got every facet that it would need to make it shine above and stand above anything that's coming out. And I know we'll be done around late March. We'll completely have it mixed and mastered by then. But far as when or how it's getting out, I don't know yet. But I do believe that there will be some major labels involved with the releasing of it, just in talks and behind the scenes kind of chatter. So I'm really excited about, having an album out. I've cut 17 albums, and having an album out that'll get to see more of a mainstream audience instead of, the smaller genre markets. And so
Right.
I've worked my whole life to get to a point where I believe that's actually happening right now. And so that's it's beautiful. I'd have loved it to happen in my 20s, but I'd have probably messed it up. So I'm happy that I get to do it now. So,
And I think it's awesome that everything in your life has come to this culmination in this dream, but you couldn't have picked a better guy to do the recording and get all that stuff done for you. Cause I mean, he's got to be in that same vibe with you.
Oh yeah. And he loves traditional country music. And I mean, when I say traditional country music, that throws some people off. I mean, sometimes people think, Garth Brooks is classic country. To me, classic for me is like, Ray Price and George Jones and Haggard and Lefty Frizzell and stuff. But so this album would fall more like almost in a very straight ahead 90s category, if you will. And kind of production. And I mean, even the song choices. And I mean, I was born in 86. And so for me, my favorite era of country music was the 90s and early 2000s. But and even before that, like I said, the older generation of country singers that I just emulated and learned from. But this thing would, if it was put out and produced in the 90s, it would have done just fine. So
Yeah.
that's kind of what it is. But we paid a lot of respect and added some really refreshing newer elements to it that kind of makes it exciting and different.
Yeah.
So
and say I like a lot of old Johnny Cash, Conway Twitty,
absolutely,
the Possum, all the good ones, and hell, we was off-roading, mudding, bonfires, and getting drunk. And it was always 2 or 3 trucks had the same daggum stereo system going with Hank Williams Jr.
Oh yeah.
That was back when Hank was like huge.
Yeah, George Jones. You said he's definitely, he was my first introduction into just a real country music singer, a guy that got inside a song and made you feel it, and just just all the inflections, and he was a stylist, and I love that about him. And I mean, and before that it was Lefty, and then it just kind of trickled down, and then I got a Keith Whitley cassette when I was a kid, and that changed my world. And and I just love good country music singers. Vern Gosdin, man, he could make you feel everything he was singing about. If he was hurting, you hurt too, and if he was happy, you was happy too. That's what I think.
But it was none of the newer stuff, the auto tune and all this other crap. This stuff was real people.
Yeah, I mean, with the invention of the modern stuff, I think it made a lot of singers lazy. I mean, back in that day, you had to get in there and do your gig. You had to be able to sing, and sing in a way that it didn't need to be fixed. And a lot of those guys could do that. These days, I mean, you mail in a vocal that you think's 85%, they can make it 115% with all the different, bells and whistles they can add to fixing it. And so my general rule of thumb is it never leaves this control room unless I feel like it's about a 90 to a 95. And sometimes I'll sit here and nobody's perfect, but I'll sit here until I'm satisfied, and I'm a picky dude. So
yeah, I can imagine.
I take 2 or 3 days on one vocal.
Well, it's like I tell everybody, you are your own worst critic.
Yep.
No matter who you are. And you always want the perfection, and you want it better than anybody else's. And
I mean, singing's all emotion. So, I mean, one day I might come in and sing it this way, but next day I might come in and really have that emotion inside of me that I was trying to portray the day before that maybe wouldn't have been there. So I take my time. I sure do.
Yeah. And it shows.
Well,
and everything that I've heard of yours, I mean, I'm serious as a heart attack. Your voice blows me away with how you sing and everything. It's amazing.
Thank you. Thank you very much, man. It's all heart and life.
You got another fan right off the get go. We got to add all kinds of stuff and subscribe and do all that other stuff. Caitlin's looking at me like, what? Caitlin's my producer, and we did have Tanya Gant Bradshaw did type in and said hi to everybody. So everybody, please remember, if you got a question for Billy or me or anything, y'all can add a comment down there. It shows right up on the screen, and we're more than happy to answer any questions.
Where did Caitlin get that hat? That's my question. Where do I order it?
Well, her boyfriend got it somewhere.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know where he got it.
All right, I'm gonna be looking for it.
I would show it to you, but she hates being on camera.
No, I can just throw it at you. Hang on.
She's throwing me a hat, Billy.
Does it work on the kids when they're asking you for something? Yeah, it works. Yeah, I like that. That looks like kind of maybe like a homemade job, like a one-off.
Yeah.
It's probably not in circulation.
I don't know. I mean, you might have to call the merch people and say, I don't know.
It's comfortable.
There you go, Caitlin, right in front of the camera. Yay. Oh.
Well, David, I sure appreciate you taking time with me today, and it's you'll be one of the first people to hear it when we finally have it in our hand and I can share it. That'd be I would really love that, because like I said, we get the new studio downtown. I got to get you back in. I want to get Chris back in, because
y'all have the stories, and you've been in knee deep in all of it, and that helps out so many other people that are looking at making that journey.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough journey. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, if I knew what I was getting into at 15, when I just had big dreams and no really vehicle to make them come true, I'd have still done it. But I wish I'd have, the age old saying, I wish I'd have knew a little bit of what I've learned over the years. And speaking of Chris, him and I, we've run, we run RBR Entertainment together, and we've just been knee deep in the music industry. And he gave me one of my first publishing deals, and it's just the things that you have to go through to get where, like you said, the culmination of things where all this got to here,
Yeah.
And it took all those, it took sleeping behind dumpsters at VFWs and, you name it. I slept in my car for the first couple of years, and but it made me the artist I am now, because I respect it. I respect what it means to be an artist and to put music out. It's a tall order, in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, it's like, when Jewel first come out, she was talking about having to sleep in her car and all that other stuff. And I pointed it out. I said, Jewel ain't the only one that's done that.
Mm-mm.
A lot of people have done that, but
my house was a 1982 Ford Escort.
There you go. The thing I tried to point out to them is that's when they really honed that craft with the doors lockt and sitting there, nothing else to do but to write a song.
And it's such a competitive business that, you've literally got to buckle down and just get in the trenches and make it work. And the whole thing is, find what when people ask me what it takes to be an artist, they have no clue. They think you moved to Nashville, sing behind a microphone, and you're a star. It's not that. I've been in country music and music industry since I was 17, and even before that, touring, with my dad on the road and Bluegrass and stuff since I was 5 years old. And it took all that for me to get a sound that I feel like is me. It's not me trying to be like Keith Whitley, or it's not me trying to be like Marty Raven of Shenandoah, or none of that stuff. It's truly authentic Billy Droze music. It's my, my heart and my life on paper and in a microphone. So
yeah, because you've got to definitely find your own voice.
Yes.
And everybody talks about how Johnny Cash got his sound, and all these other people. That's what you've got to find. You've got to find your sound.
Mm-hmm.
Because
it's also kind of pulling from my favorites, and I loved the cry in Marty Robbins' voice. I love the cry in Marty Raven's voice. I love the tone that Merle Haggard had, and I loved the inflections that George Jones had and stuff, and just kind of taking all that and putting it together and learning from the best of the best there is, and kind of making your own, what's true to yourself, and what you want to say as an artist.
See, I love that. That is very applaudable there. It's people don't do that anymore.
I even took stuff from Celine Dion. I'm not a snob in music. I like all music as long as it's good. And if they're great vocalists, I can sit any genre. If they're singers, man, I don't care if it's pop, country, rock, whatever it is as long as they make you feel something. I love great singers that know how to put it out there.
Oh yeah. It just, it's that wow. When you first hear that song, that wow.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God,
I could ask you, you could probably tell me, times that songs that just, when you heard them, you knew exactly what you're doing and where you were. And those are the songs that kind of just stop you in your tracks, and artists that can make you do that. I remember where I was when I heard Miami. I remember where I was when I heard Mama Knows, and so on and so forth. She Thinks I Still Care. I was 13, sitting out beside my daddy's RV in South Texas. And so songs that mark a period in your life, that's special. And an artist that can do that is even more special. So.
Oh yeah. Well, that's like Texas, you moved out to Texas and everything else. One of my favorites out in Texas was Chris Ledoux.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely.
That man had a way with words and music It was just phenomenal.
A great entertainer as well. So
yeah.
I mean, it definitely takes being the total package and knowing how to entertain, knowing how to sing right, and how to be with fans, and how to treat people on the road, and how to just appreciate them for giving you a chance. Because after all, at the end of the day, it's about those people that buy tickets and follow you and listen to your music, and and that's a big deal. A lot of time, fans feel like they know you if they don't even know you before they ever meet you, and so because they've listened to album after album of basically your life on recording, and so
Oh yeah.
I have a very tight bond with people that have followed my career, because I appreciate them, and B, it's you just you've gotta 100% take care of those fans, and I've always known that and learned that through the years, because they matter a lot.
And that's what I noticed ever since COVID went away. I've noticed a lot of artists are actually paying more attention to their fans and their fan base.
Yeah, I can say I've noticed that too. I'm a hugger. You come to my show, I'm gonna give you a hug and ask you how your family is, and it'd be like we did know each other. That's how it is.
Oh yeah, and that's good stuff. I mean, it just, I love it when you see things on YouTube. This artist brung up this little kid, or something's going on. And I love that aspect of it, and everybody else does too. I mean, it's great that
you definitely got to make them feel like they're a part of it, from the show to the music, and that's how it works, and that's what it takes.
I think
they're there to be a part of it.
I think the entertainment aspect of all of it has risen really, really high now. Because back in the day, it used to be you're their entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
You come on, you go on stage, you get off stage, you don't talk to nobody, and you go back to the hotel room.
Yeah.
That's what it used to be, because you couldn't meet anybody. And if you actually did and got an autograph, that was like, holy crap, that's what you got, And now it's like, I love the aspect of it, because people are doing like more VIP packages. They're actually at the merch table. The artists are coming down, taking pictures, signing autographs, and doing, like you said, asking about the family and how things are going. And you never know where that next song might come from.
You're absolutely right. One time I was on the road with Shenandoah, and they were opening for Garth Brooks, and the coolest thing I took away from, because I mean, good gosh, he's an icon, and what I took away from the way Garth treated his fans was just like backstage area. He went and shook hands with everybody that was backstage. So if they were backstage, he personally, introduced himself like he needed an introduction, but he went up to everybody and shook their hand and told them thanks for being here, and hey, what are you doing here? And it was so neat to see how interactive he was with the whole backstage crew and people that look up to him. So that's
I mean, so in the day, he did a lot for the fans.
Oh, I think he made them feel like they were a part of his career, and I think was kind of key to a lot of his success. He never forgot names, and he showed up and knew each DJ at every radio station, and did his research, back before Google. So now I can cheat. I got Google. So
man, it's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
We can sit here and talk for another hour and a half, 2 hours on just all this stuff, but we're going to save that for the studio.
You got it, David.
Tell everybody where they can find you.
You can find me at billydroze.com, Billy Droze Official on Facebook, Instagram. If there is a TikTok, farmersonly.com recently. So, but just come on over to the socials and say hi, and let's keep in touch. When music comes out, I'll definitely be telling everybody and just putting alerts up to when things are going down for sure. So
I hope
try to reach back out to everybody.
I'm not putting an idea in your head, but I am going to say this. I hope when you release the album,
mm-hmm.
you do one hell of a EP release.
Yeah, we definitely plan on something like that for sure.
I will be there.
Heck yeah.
I'll bug the crap out of Donna, Chris, whoever I got to. I'm going to be there.
That'll be great. We definitely want to play my idea and dream of it is to just play the album in its complete entirety with a band that is completely rehearsed and knows that, like the back of their hand, and just get people excited about country music again, and it's really having a good comeback these days. And I'm very excited to see that, rootsy country music is country music's cool again and it's popular. And I love that, kind of stuff I love anyway.
Yeah. We just got a comment from Glenn Shirley saying farmers only.
With a smiley face.
With a smiley face.
I'm not on farmers only. It's a joke. I promise.
Oh, Lord.
I haven't listened to it, but I ain't on there yet.
I knew if we got a comment off anything, it would be the farmers only joke. That was good. Lord of mercy. Well, Billy.
Yeah, David, thank you so much for having us.
I really appreciate you being on. And
one time, why are you always saying us and we? I don't know, because it's literally just me sitting here, but I guess I have more than one personality. So thank you for having us.
Well, it's my people and your people, and it's more than just us anymore.
Whole family. Yes, sir.
Glenn Shirley said, "This guy is the real deal." There you go, Billy.
Thank you, Mr. Glenn. I appreciate you.
I love it.
Well, thank you for chatting with me, David. And if I can ever do anything for you, holler at me. And I'm sure we'll be talking soon again sometime in the future.
Oh yeah, we'll be hollering at you, and we'll get everything going. I wish you nothing but the best, and I can't wait till this album hits. I got a feeling from what you told me and what Jeff said, I think it is going to be one of the biggest albums of the year.
That's what I'm praying for.
I really hope so. So
one good way to make it work. Yes, sir.
Hell yeah. All right, brother. Well, tell everybody bye. And Billy, we appreciate you being on.
God bless you, sir. Thank you.
You too. Bye-bye. All right. Everybody, that Mr. Billy Droze, he's got his album hopefully coming out, and we're going to let everybody know the date when it comes out, and we're going to have a lot of fun with it. So we'll catch everybody later. Please remember to like, share, follow, subscribe. Go to billydroze.com, and all of his stuff is on there, so you can click on it and go over, listen to his stuff, like it, subscribe to it, pump them numbers up, people, because that's how you get people into your town. The promoters are looking at that. They want to know what they can do to book this show, and you can get them to your town, and everything will be awesome. We're going to get off here. Appreciate you. Love you. Mean it. Toodaloo.